This is my very average car, a 2005 Honda Element. And today, my goal is to turn it into the ultimate tiny stealth camper. You see, I want to go camping with my girlfriend more often, but with both of our busy schedules, it's always a challenge to wrangle all of the gear and get on the road in time. I want to be able to bring my home on the road with me, and I want to be so organized that we can go camping at any moment. There are 4 main features that are going to take this project to the next level. Number 1. I want to have a kitchen setup that's easily deployable. I want to be able to pack it up in less than a minute in case it starts snowing or raining and I need to leave. Number 2, I want a fully functioning sink that pumps clean drinking water. Number 3, I want this camper to be extremely stealthy. I don't want anyone to know that we're sleeping inside of it. But on the flip side, I want the interior to be as cozy as possible. I want warm lights, I want them to be easily controllable, and I want a really comfortable mattress. One of the really cool things about a Honda Element is that it has a tailgate. And the main thing that's gonna allow us to build an awesome camper in the back of this car is that the seats fold up. But we're gonna be removing those completely, and that's what we need to figure out how to do.
I'm gonna show you how to remove and reinstall your rear back seat. That tab and lift up. And your seat comes right out.
After a quick YouTube tutorial, I was able to take out both seats and get a better sense of the amount of space that I have to work with. So this camper project is quite a lot larger physically than all of my other builds, and that makes the filming of this project quite a bit more challenging. So for this video, I've partnered with Anti-Gravity to show you how I use their A1 360 drone to document my process. This is crazy. I'm seeing what the drone is seeing.
Home point updated.
Oh my God. Okay, this is insane. So after taking some measurements, I got to work 3D modeling the design in the computer. This camper build will basically consist of a bed platform with drawers underneath, and I'm using 3/4 inch plywood for the majority of the pieces. My good friend Drew Hanflond visited me for a few days from Illinois, and he so graciously helped me get the base of this camper built. Funny enough, Drew and I met in the YouTube comment section 6 years ago, and we've become great friends since then. Despite chatting consistently over FaceTime, we've never actually hung out in person, so I was stoked when he told me he'd be on the West Coast. We cut out the sidewalls of the camper and all of the main structural pieces. We cut this half-lap joint that'll provide a lot of strength and stability for the bed platform. Drew, I'm gonna teach you how to fly the drone.
Yeah.
In like 5 minutes.
Cool.
It's pretty easy.
Okay.
Basic instructions. Wherever it's pointed is the direction it goes when you pull the trigger.
Thank you.
Press that up twice really fast. There you go.
Okay. Whoa.
And then try looking around a little bit.
Whoa.
Isn't that tricky?
Here we are. Okay, so I just point it in that direction and pull the trigger?
Yeah.
I'm in Portland. Yeah. It's so pretty. Yeah. I'm just gonna keep going. Do you want me to try to land up?
There's a return to home button.
Landing.
It's landing. That's crazy.
It feels like you're actually like a bird.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
I've had lots of experience with flying drones, but this was Drew's first time flying the A1, and it's probably the most beginner-friendly drone I've ever used. Usually, car aerial shots are hard to frame. With this, I just fly near the car, and because it captures everything in 360, I can frame the perfect angle later in Anti-Gravity's app. The 2 issues that I've had with drones in the past are battery life and weight, and this drone solves both of those. The A1 is under 250 grams, which means you don't need a license to fly it, and it also has up to 39 minutes of flight time, which means I don't need to worry about running out of battery and missing important shots. If you want to experience flight like a bird, check the link in the description. Thank you to Anti-Gravity for sponsoring this video. Now back to the build. These are the bottom pieces of the camper. And because I knew that they'd be touching the bed of the car and potentially get dirty from the gear I'll be tossing in, I decided to dye these pieces black with India ink. With the bottom panels dyed, that meant all of the pieces of the bed platform were done and ready for assembly.
Oh no, our joint's too good.
Fuck. Did you see that? Yeah. Damn. Oh. Haven't hammered in a while. We were then able to start screwing the bottom panels to the cross assembly. For this build, I started out relying heavily on my Rhino 3D model for dimensions. I probably spent a solid 3 to 4 days of measuring, modeling, and planning this design solely in the computer. I'm not used to following a 3D model this closely, and to be honest, it feels like you're blindly following a set of instructions that theoretically will work, but you're not 100% sure. So I ran out of Baltic birch plywood, and that's why I had to use this other plywood that doesn't have as nice of an edge. But I want them all to look the same, so I'm gonna use an offcut of the nice plywood to create some edge banding. Now, admittedly, this is a bit of a hack solution, but a hack solution that saved me from buying another $100 sheet of plywood, and it ended up being pretty much indistinguishable from the real Baltic birch plywood. It was time for the highly anticipated test fit into the car. We're gonna see if it fits now. Now, upon the first lift of this frame assembly, it was already getting pretty heavy, and I could only imagine how much it would weigh fully loaded with gear. The bed platform fits pretty darn good into the back of the car. Huge shout out to Drew for helping me with that part of the build. So now that we know that it fits and it has a little bit of wiggle room, it's time to start building the drawers that are gonna hold and organize all of my gear. This is all of the wood that I cut for the frame, and this is the drawer bottom. And I know what you're thinking. 3/4 inch plywood is a little bit overkill for a drawer bottom.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no.
But this is the drawer that is gonna be holding the most gear. It's gonna hold the cooler, and it's gonna hold a heavy crate full of cooking gear. I don't want the drawer bottom to flex over time. You can let me know in the comments if you think I'm overbuilding this. I'm really approaching this camper build the same way I build furniture, with the same standards of quality. So having visible screw heads was an absolute no for me. I countersunk all the screws by drilling a larger hole first with a Forstner bit. This allows all of the screw holes to be plugged with a wood dowel, which provides a higher end professional look, and it's really not that much more work. So both of the drawers are done, but I haven't actually tested to see if they fit in the bed platform or the car. Everything should fit because I CAD modeled it and followed those dimensions exactly. So fingers crossed I did everything right. Now this is where I started to realize just how blindly I'd followed the dimensions of my CAD model, not accounting for any inconsistencies I'd already made. Ooh, okay. It looks like we're kind of pushing it here. The drawer is like a 1/4 inch too long. It's supposed to be flush with the front of these uprights here. Let's check out the second one. I hope I didn't make the same mistake. Dang. That one's too long too. Oh, what did I do? This one is like 1/2 inch too long. I needed to completely shorten the drawer by 1/2 inch. I unscrewed the end piece and tried using both my hands and a mallet to break the piece off because the glue hadn't fully dried, but my efforts were unsuccessful. My next best option was making a slightly sketchy cut on the table saw to tailor the drawer to its correct length. After a bit of reconstructive surgery, we were back on track. So I've reconstructed this drawer frame, the only difference being that it's a 1/2 inch shorter. So now that I've fixed that issue, it's time to glue in the drawer bottom. This one's only 1/2 inch thick because the stuff in the drawer is going to be a little bit lighter weight. Time has come to install the drawer slides. These aren't just any old drawer slides. Oh no, these are locking drawer slides rated for 500 pounds, hence the steep price. I mounted these in place using as many of the provided bolts and nuts as possible, because I'm going to be loading these drawers up and I want them to support as much weight as possible. So we've reached the point where I have the full body of the camper built, as well as the drawers that are gonna hold my gear. Now, one of the main features that I really wanted to add to this camper setup is some way to easily access clean drinking water. I just ordered the 6-gallon water jug, which is gonna hold all of the potable drinking water.
Potable.
Now, just having this water jug inside the camper isn't gonna be super accessible. I wanna add a sink faucet to the end of one of these drawers that pumps water out of this jug so that I can have fresh drinking water or wash my hands. Now, this compartment was made for the water jug to go into. The question is, how am I gonna pump water all the way from back here to the end of the drawer, which is where I want the water to come out? To solve this issue, I bought this 6-foot-long silicone tubing, and that will stretch all the way from the front to the back. This hose goes into the water cistern, and this tiny $20 water pump is gonna be our faucet. How cool is that? I came across this very popular product, which is basically identical to this, but it was $120. And it was marketed directly as a van life solution, which is probably why there's such a hefty markup. After doing some digging, I found that this product is nearly identical, but way cheaper, and it has a fun motorized spout. It seems like the best way to create a pump configuration is by modifying your water tank to have a quick release fitting, and this allows you to easily connect and disconnect your silicone hose. Another add-on that people recommend is adding an inline ball valve, and this acts as a hard shutoff for the water. This prevents the pump from accidentally turning on and flooding your entire car. When I saw the motorized spout of the pump, I immediately knew I wanted to integrate it seamlessly into the drawer face. But before we could do that, I needed to actually build the drawer faces. This will likely be the most visible part of the camper, so I wanted it to be high-end, and I didn't want it to look home-built. I started by cutting to size 2 drawer faces from 3/4 inch Baltic birch, and I cut these little notches in the bottom which will allow for the drawer slide locks to poke out. I thought about adding a prettier hardwood veneer on top, but I knew this would probably see a lot of abuse, and I wanted a more industrial, sleek look. So I ordered some 1/16 inch aluminum sheets to skin the faces of the drawers with. I was somewhat apprehensive using woodworking tools on metal. It seems counterintuitive, but it turns out aluminum is soft enough to cut with the track saw and round over with the router. I used some very high grit foam sanding pads on the orbital sander, and I'm telling you, it looked like a MacBook level finish. With those drawer faces done, I could finally turn my attention back to integrating the pump to create my kitchen sink. I 3D modeled and printed a form-fitting mount for the pump out of PLA CF. The CF stands for carbon fiber, which means the plastic filament is infused with carbon fiber strands. And this provides insanely strong tensile strength for a 3D print. This was my first time printing with CF on this scale, and when I first saw the print, I was so impressed because it really doesn't look like it's 3D printed. Since this pump is battery powered, inevitably it'll need to be charged. And instead of running a long USB cord all the way to the main battery, which I'll add later, I just opted to use this tiny battery bank which I already had, and this fit perfectly next to the pump. I took one look at the water pump and it hit me. The plastic design really doesn't match the aesthetic that I'm going for. So in keeping with my aluminum theme, I cut a custom faceplate out of the same metal as I used for the drawer faces. I then filed and shaped it until it fit over the top of the pump perfectly. With the pump assembly complete and looking much better, I turned my attention towards finishing the drawer faces.
The difference in between all the faces you read when the grass ain't green, when you fix everything. I don't know about you, but I gotta get it out, and I don't know how soon. But if we die, I wanna bring the whole
I just spent about 2 hours sanding all of these cutouts that I made, and this entire assembly is ready to be finished. Now, I could totally leave this raw with no protective coating, but seeing as this is going to be in my car, there's a potential for things to get a little bit wet or dinged up, and I just want to have that extra level of protection. The Anti-Gravity A1 has been such a game changer in adding new angles to my videos. The method that I found best for documenting my work here is sending the drone up, taking the goggles off, and letting it record. And the beauty of that is that I can change the angle of the camera afterwards in anti-gravity software, so I don't have to worry too much about framing things up correctly. With all of the pieces finished, it was time for a final assembly. I screwed in the drawers for what felt like the millionth time, and now it was time for the part that I was most looking forward to, attaching the drawer faces that I'd spent multiple hours on. I need to pre-drill into the drawer face before I attach it. And I have a trick that I'm gonna use so that I know exactly where to pre-drill. So I'm just gonna line my drawer face up, and then I'm going to push the two together. And so now I can drill just a little bit in, and it'll be in the correct position. I can fully drive those screws in. Dude. One of my most important features of my stealth camper rig is a quickly deployable kitchen. Now this drawer right here is going to be my kitchen setup. And to organize all of my cooking gear, I'm gonna be using these waterproof crates. Now this is the smallest of the 3 crates that I bought, and it should fit slightly lower than the edge of the drawer because I wanna have a nice bamboo cutting board that slots in right on top of it. My idea was to have this cutting board be removable for food prep and eating, which also makes it a lot easier to wash. This is the panel of wood that's going to be the bed platform. I've already cut it to size, but I have a bad feeling that this corner right here is going to prevent the trunk from closing fully. So let's see. It's hitting the corner there. So I think if I just round these corners off, it's gonna be totally fine. This panel is adding a considerable amount of weight to this camper. So I'm going to drill a bunch of evenly spaced holes. And this will also serve a second purpose, which I'll show you a little bit later. Oh yeah, let's go. At this point, if I were to lay down, my feet are completely unsupported. So we need to create a bed extension that folds out of the way when I'm driving. Just finished this bed extension piece, which is going to go on the end of the camper, and this is where our feet are gonna rest. The only way that I can lay down as someone who's 6 feet tall is pushing both the passenger and driver's seat all the way forwards, but that leaves about 15 inches, which is where this comes in. Does it feel like I belong to is on the side for confirmation. Okay. Have to kind of push it. With the heavy weight of this camper, I need some way to anchor it down to the bed of the car, or if I have to brake quickly, this thing would be a huge liability. And to anchor it down, I'm gonna use this metal hitch ring. I installed one of these hitch rings on each side of the camper, which I'll later use ratchet straps to tie into the car itself. The next thing I needed to do is hooking up the sink to the water jug. Now there's a slight concern here, which is that this silicone tube is prone to being punctured. And if it gets punctured, that means there's gonna be water leaking all over the inside of the camper. So I'm gonna install this PVC pipe to the very edge of the drawer and feed the silicone tube through it. This bracket is gonna hold the PVC pipe in place, but there's one problem. It's a little bit too loose. Projects like this are so satisfying in a different way than, say, building a nice piece of furniture. You're basically building a tiny world, and all of the parts of this ecosystem need to work in harmony. But the fun part is that I get to tackle all of these quick sub-projects that combine into something more impressive. I'm gonna connect the hose. It was finally time to see if this thing would work as I'd imagined. Okay.
Huh?
Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Haha. That's so cool.
That is so cool.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh. Is it leaking? It's not leaking at all. Riding off the high of that success,
No
I
way.
loaded the entire camper into the car, hoping to test the drawers for the first time. Now I have a bit of a problem, which is that these drawers don't want to extend all the way because they're catching on the tailgate. I didn't realize that the tailgate on the Honda Element isn't completely level, which is preventing these drawers from moving any further. So the two options I have are lowering the tailgate or completely raising up the bed platform. And I don't have time to order new. Now that really only leaves me one option here, which is to raise the entire bed platform up so that the drawers have some clearance. So all of these blocks that I just dyed are gonna get stacked underneath. Having had to install twice as many risers than expected, my problem was solved, and the drawers could finally move freely. With the kitchen setup and sink sorted, I shifted my attention to making the inside of this camper as cozy as possible. I designed and 3D printed these light bars, which I also made out of PLA CF. After gluing these up with epoxy, I wanted to figure out a clever way to control the lights and dim them, so I got to work building a control panel. I've become such a fan of this braided lamp cord, and I've had a few of you ask where I get it, so I've added a link below to the same one I use, as well as links to all of the other parts that I use on this project. I just finished wiring up both of these light bars, and now it's time to connect this control panel that I made to them. This bottom button turns the lights on and off, and the top bar adjusts the brightness. After I soldered the last few wires and connected the power cord, I mounted the control box to the inside of the car with double-sided tape. This tape is supposed to be rated to hold 70 pounds, but as you'll see a little bit later, this didn't work out so well. I kind of just designed and built these light bars without really thinking about how they'd get mounted. The problem is that the entire ceiling of the car is headliner fabric, and I'd rather not destroy that with glue or adhesives. So to get around this, I hammered out some aluminum mounting brackets that will attach the plastic panels on the inside of the car. Once I installed the mattress, I thought this build was complete, and you'll see why I was wrong about this in a little bit. But regardless, it was time to get the crates packed up and give this camper a real shakedown adventure. We packed up, hit the road, and drove 2 hours outside of Portland to my favorite viewpoint of Mount Hood.
Without my love for the ocean, I would be long gone by now. It's some kind of devotion that brings me down. That without my love for the ocean, I will be no one.
After spending one night in the camper and having a fun time of it, it became pretty apparent to me this setup was not nearly as dialed as I thought it was, and there's some real problems and safety concerns that I needed to address. Now, in order to finish this video off right, I've created a list of everything I need to fix on the camper. The first thing, I need a way to open the trunk from the inside of the car. There's absolutely no way to get out. The only way for me to exit now is through the passenger or the driver's side door. That's not so easy. Rough exit here. If I had to get out of the car quickly, if someone was harassing me. This scenario happened to Biaheza, who's another YouTuber that made a Honda Element camper.
Hey, what can I do for you?
Luckily, he was able to escape easily by driving away, but I just want an easy exit strategy out the back. I've found the latch, and that goes all the way over here, in there. Just drilled through the car. While I was working on this, I couldn't help but feel a tinge of hesitation to modify and drill into my car. It's not truly sacrilegious, but somehow we've been conditioned to be uncomfortable modifying the products we own. I hope I drill this hole in the right spot. We've been taught to be good consumers who treat products like precious or sacred objects that can't be modified, or else they lose their inherent value. To who is it valuable though? That's the question that I think we should be asking. A lot of the time, an object would be more valuable to you if you did modify it. But the thing that prevents you from doing so is a fear that other people will value it less. I think customization is the truest form of ownership. Problem number 2. I need to attach the lights better. Now, during the course of our camping trip, both of the lights in the control panel fell down.
Why?
It turns out the double-sided tape I used wasn't strong enough, so we need a better solution for that. Number 3, the battery got drained pretty quickly, so I need a solar setup. Infinite energy glitch. I went with a Renogy 200 watt panel, which will provide my battery with more than enough solar juice. I haven't found a great mounting option yet. I'm thinking of fabricating some brackets out of aluminum angle and bolting it with lock nuts, but if you have any suggestions, please write them in the comments. I really want to find a safe solution so the panel doesn't fly off when I'm driving. I need better privacy. As of right now, all of the windows except the very front are covered, and I think what would be easiest is to make a curtain that partitions the front of the car from the sleeping cabin in the back. I need better storage and organization. I need a place for my phone, wallet, keys, and knife. And ideally there's storage on each side of the bed for me and my girlfriend. final one is pretty easy.
I think we need a bigger comforter.
Really?
I think that was my only issue.
Things are looking a lot better. These lights are way more secure. We got both organizer boxes on each side, lined with leather. So setting my knife down, setting my wallet down, silent. We figured out the curtain setup. I feel so much better about the level of privacy now. Overall, I'm super stoked on these improvements. Now I think I've solved all of these issues pretty well, and I think it's safe to say I have a pretty sweet micro camper setup. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I really appreciate you watching. I graduate college in 1 month, which means I'm going full-time on YouTube for the first time ever. So expect to see some more videos from me. If you want to see my next project, hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.